Allah tells us that no transaction is valid unless both sides freely agree. This is the principle of Taradhi, mutual consent, when two people, two parties, two families, two businesses, two partners are coming together to sign a contract. So Allah says that both of the parties should agree with mutual consent, willingly, freely, not because of any pressure, because of any forcefulness, because of any manipulation, because of any cheat. They're coming together in a contract. They should know what they're signing up for. They should agree to what they're signing up for, freely and willingly. And this principle is not limited to business, the principle of mutual consent. It applies to every contract in life, including marriages. You see, one of the biggest violations of Taradhi today is forced marriages. A girl say yes because she is scared. A boy say yes because of the family pressure. They have their signature on the paper, but their hearts never agreed. And this is not consent. Allah does not accept contract built on fear. And especially, I have heard about these such kind of marriages outside the subcontinent of Asia, but as I'm aware of the culture over here, especially in the subcontinent of Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, forced marriages are so much normalized that people don't see anything wrong in that. It's okay. It's how things happen over here. What you are going to tell? Do you have any experience? You were born in front of me. Now you are going to teach me things like these, where a girl doesn't want to marry a guy. A girl has her dreams, and girls can pursue their dreams after their marriage. But that girl does not want to marry the person her family is forcing her to marry to. But you are going to shame your family. Your mother is dying out of shame. Your father is dying out of shame. Your siblings won't be able to get married because of you. You are so selfish. You just think about yourself. You don't care about anyone else. All these kind of statements and words pressure a girl so much that she literally signs up on her death warrant, I would say. What is she going to do? A boy, his family forces him to marry. You are the eldest son. You should be responsible. You should act wisely. You don't know anything better. Marry your cousin so that the property remains inside the family. All these kind of things. And the marriage is happening. Everyone is smiling. Um, the the setup looks good, the clothes look expensive, there are smiles on the face, but look at the condition of the girl and a boy who are getting married. Neither does the girl want to marry him, neither does the man want to marry the girl. What's going to happen after the relatives or the guest leave? Chaos. Chaos. Forced marriages are one of the biggest issues in the society, at least in the subcontinent of Asia, at least in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. We only marry to in our caste. We won't uh, marry a girl outside the caste we are, our caste. Even if our girls grow old enough, I know of the families where the girls have grown old, literally old. They've crossed the age of 50s and 60s and 70s and were not able to get married. And forced marriages was not a single thing reason why they weren't getting married. There were so many aspects. Sometimes the family acts stupidly. Sometimes the girls act stupidly. Sometimes the boys act out of stupidity. But right now, I'm not talking about all of those things. Right now, my focus is on forced marriages. If your child wants to get married, they like someone. Now they want to get married to that boy or to that girl. If there's nothing wrong with there is nothing wrong with the person they like, then why do you have a problem? I mean, one of the most stupidest reason I've heard for a family to reject a girl was this, that this family came to this girl's family. They saw the girl. They said, "Your girl is very wonderful. She's very nice. She's very good. She's well educated, and the girl was very good. But we won't marry our son to her. Why? Your house is small. What will people say if we marry? If we brought a girl from a small house?" The girl want to marry a guy. She likes someone. She's working somewhere. She's studying somewhere. She's doing something. Now she see a decent person who is a decent guy. Of course, I'm not talking about uh, crooked people. I'm not talking about the evil people. What I am talking about is good boys and good girls. If your girl want to marry a good boy, and if your boy want to marry a good girl, then what's the problem in that? They're not of a caste. So what? So what if they don't belong to your caste? And one of my friend was we were having this conversation only about the marriages, and I told him that this marriages inside the caste is a big issue. And my friend told me, brother, it's not. It's not. He said that I have seen the girls who belong to higher caste according to the culture. In Islam there is no caste system. According to the culture we have, I've seen uh, the girls from big caste going into the homes of the boy who belongs to a lower caste according to the culture. And the reason was because that boy or that boy's family has a lot of money. So that my friend was telling, see, Asad, as long as people have money, then these caste and these all of these things, they don't matter. These things only matter for the people who don't have enough money. If that boy had a lot of money in his bank balance, he had a big car, he had a big house, even if he belonged to some small caste, there won't be an issue from the girl's family to sending the girl or to marrying the girl with him. The issue only arises, or issue does arise, when the boy who is wanting to marry the girl and the girl is also interested in marrying that guy, he belongs to a small caste or inferior caste according to the culture, and he doesn't have a lot of money in it with him. That's the point where objections start to happen. No, we don't want to marry a girl into some inferior caste. We are a people of big caste. And as soon as the money gets involved, these people forget everything. A'udhu billah. Then they are not interested in marrying their girl into the same caste or their boy into the same family. Then they don't want to marry their son to his cousin because the girl coming from the other side is bringing more money in the family. Forced marriages. Allah gave us this principle of mutual consent. If any of you are getting into any kind of contract, both of the parties should be willingly, freely agree to the contract. A silence of a girl is not always her yes. Or a girl won't say anything, she won't say yes or she won't say no because she is very shy and she always agree to what we say. She's silent because it's her yes, don't worry. It's her yes. Really? Really? I'm reminded of this event that happened in the time of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, where a girl was married forcefully to some person she didn't wanted to marry, and the message reached to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam commanded that that marriage is invalid, separate both of them. Such kind of marriage is invalid. Where the girl doesn't agree to the marriage. And if on paper your girl or your boy agrees to marry, but their heart is not willing to marry that person, then you and I are going against this principle Allah has given us of mutual consent. You think, do we think that we will get away with this thing? So many cases, and right now I'm just focusing on the forced marriages, guys. So many cases. And hear me on this. If a marriage contract is invalid without a consent, then what about a business contract? Will that be valid? Doesn't manipulation and cheating and all kind of pressure happens in the business world, where the wealthy guy pressures the weak person to sign a contract. Does that happen in the financial world? Where a politician, a mafia, pressures a weak person to sell his house because they want to build their luxury apartment over there. The owner of the property doesn't want to sell his house, but he is forced to sign on the paper, sign on the contract that he is selling his property. Is he really willing to sell his property? Not really. At that time, if this very thing happens to the parent who is forcing their child into a forced marriage, when this thing happens in the business to them, then they are crying, oh, the world is such a cruel place. Yes, people like you exist. If you don't honor the principle Allah has given us with your children, then why would a stranger care about your feelings? Of course, they are going to force you to sell your property, and you have to sign that contract. What are you going to do? Stand against the mafia? Go stand. I'm not justifying the actions of anyone or any criminal over here, but the message I'm trying to convey, when you were forcing your child to get married to someone they didn't wanted to marry, that was okay. But when a politician and a mafia or a criminal came asking you to sell your property, pressuring you to sell your property, and you were signing the contract, then that somehow became something cruel. Why? They are just doing what you did years ago with your own children. So, how is that wrong according to your philosophy? At that time, people start raising their hands towards Allah. Ya Rab, people are so oppressive, people are so bad. See, I am such a weak person. You are a criminal. You are a criminal. I will be a criminal if I do that to my children, if I force them to marry someone. See, I'm talking about forced marriage because that's a really easy way for us to understand mutual consent in business. What about the loans? What about the employment? What about the deals where one side is pressured, manipulated, or even deceived to sign a contract? Allah rejects all of them. Taradhi, mutual consent, is the backbone of Islamic finance. And when it is missing, the entire system becomes oppression. The entire system becomes oppression. Hear me again. Not just the government becomes operative or the cult of people who oppress. The entire system becomes oppression. The girl, listen to me, listen, focus. The girl forced into a marriage is as the customer pressured into a loan. The boy forced to say yes is as the employee forced to accept unfair wages. The family using emotional blackmail is as the company using deceptive marketing. The marriage contract signed under fear is as a business contract signed under manipulation. If we cannot practice mutual consent in our homes, how will we practice it in our businesses, folks? How if we can't help ourselves to stop oppressing our own blood and bone and flesh, how will we stop doing that when we are dealing with strangers in business? If we force our children into marriage, like I said, how will we stop banks from forcing people into loans? Taradhi begins in the heart. It begins in the home. And when we restore consent in our relationship, we restore justice in economy. See, the purpose of this video was to convey the principle which Allah has given us. And that was of mutual consent. If two parties are getting into a contract, then both of the parties should be willingly, freely, out of any manipulation, out of any pressure, force, fear, should agree upon that contract. And that contract can be anything. It can be a business contract, it can be a loan contract, it can be an employment contract, it can be a partnership, it can be property, it can be service, it can be data. And for people to understand it, a relatable example is a marriage contract. Marriage, Allah says in the Quran that marriage is one of our signs. Marriage is such a sacred institution. How can we force someone into such an institution and make their life miserable? Let alone doing that to our own children, our own girl, our own boy. I mean, how could anyone do that? Especially the people of the village. They are so stunned in this thing. The illiterate people of the village who doesn't want to change. Oh, we are going to do whatever what keeps happening in our family. We only do these things. Our family only do these things. We only marry a girl into the same caste, doesn't matter what. We will kill people. And they do. They do. The villagers, they kill people, they kill their own girls. If she marries someone else outside the caste, they literally chop their head, chop their own girl's head off if she marries some person of the other caste. And these are not just the ideas I'm telling or abstract ideas which I'm telling, these are the reality. There are villagers where these villagers, they literally chop the girl's head off if she marries someone outside their caste. A boy is literally kicked out of the inheritance if he doesn't agree to marry his own cousin or the one the family is telling him to. They'll kick him out of the inheritance. They literally make that their own boy, their own son, go to go and beg. And if he agrees to marry the girl, the family is saying he can have all what he wants. I mean, I've seen educated people, doctors, engineers, doing all kind of stupid stuff in marriages. When it comes to marriage, people are, Allah commands, His Prophet ﷺ said, the best marriage is the marriage where the expenses have been the least. What do? One night, millions go into waste. Millions. People literally take loans to what? Throw a grand walima, throw a grand reception. Ask these very people, have you gone to Hajj? If you have so much money, have you gone to Hajj? Oh, I have the responsibilities of so many daughters. I have to fulfill that first. Acha. Very responsible father, very responsible mother, responsible parents. Now, this video is I'm not manipulating the children to be disrespectful towards your parents. No, don't hold any grudges towards your parents. Allah says in the Quran, don't even say oof to your parents. Okay? So don't be disrespectful towards your parent. Don't be don't hold any grudges, any ill feelings towards your parents. Doesn't matter what they are doing to you. But don't let their oppression be a part of your life. And if you have children, then make sure that you follow the principles which Allah has given us. And when and when you are able to honor the principle Allah has given us in your own home, hopefully you will be able to do that in the market when you're doing a business with strangers. Hopefully that time you will be able to honor the principle of mutual consent. But it starts with your home. Dad, mom, and if you're a children, first ask Allah for help. Ask Allah for help. Believe in Allah for help. Believe in Allah. Allah says in the Quran, believers believe. Don't just have this idea that yes, Allah will help me. No, believe that yes, Allah will help me. And Allah will inshallah help you. There will be difficulties in your life caused by humans. There will be that. There will be difficulties. So this, ask Allah for help and try to get as independent as you can. Try to get independent. Try to get independent. Don't be dependent on your family with your finances, with your security, with your any kind of thing. Be independent. Get your finances in your hands. Make money. Live your own life. When I say live your own life, don't be a narcissist for God's sake. When I say live your own life, that means live your life according to the principles and guidance Allah has given us. For God's sake, please don't become a narcissist. I don't care about what people say. Yeah, don't care about what bad people are going to say, but abide by the principles and guidance Allah has given us. Don't be a narcissist for God's sake. I've seen people going the other extreme also. If parents have gone into one extreme, there are children also who go to other extreme, doing all sort of bad stuff. But today's video was not about that. I hope I was able to convey my message, and inshallah, I'll be sharing more videos about this principle, mutual consent in the near future, inshallah. And until then, assalamu alaikum.